Everybody you ever wanted to look like is on steroids. Bold statement, I know, but it's probably true. Let's talk a minute about realistic expectations for muscle gain and fat loss. It's impossible to say how much muscle a person can gain drug-free over a lifetime of training, but I have read estimates of up to 40 pounds for men and 25 pounds for women. Looking at my own progress, I'd say that's about right. I started training when I was 165 pounds. I was naturally pretty lean and had some abs when I started. I got as heavy as 250 pounds, but I carried a lot of body fat. And every time I've dieted down to be about as lean as I was when I started, I'm down to around 205. So that would mean I've gained around 40 pounds of lean mass over the years. Now that doesn't mean I'm completely done. As muscle expert Brad Schoenfeld writes in his textbook, everybody has the potential to keep adding muscle throughout their life. But we all get to the point where the gains are almost too small to measure and they're impractical to keep making. For men to really see their abs and look lean and muscular, they have to get under around 10% body fat. And I would say that 7% is probably as low as any normal guy would want to get to. For women, it's around 12 to 15%. Any leaner than that takes so much time, effort, and sacrifice that it's just not going to be worth it to people who aren't competing in fitness shows. For reference, male bodybuilders compete at around 4% body fat, and lady figure competitors have to get down under 10%. These levels of muscularity and leanness are attainable for most of us if we make them our ultimate priority. But people who are casual about the gym and their diet will never get close to that. So if that's you, I think it's really important to not delude yourself and have realistic expectations. If your room is covered with pictures of people who work out for a living and you're only willing to go to the gym 3 days a week, you're going to be disappointed if you measure yourself by that standard. Unfortunately, the majority of the most celebrated physiques in pop culture, the ones we saw in the movies we all grew up with, they were enhanced by drugs, and that's really no secret. Schwarzenegger has been open about his steroid use. Stallone hasn't been as open, but he's been caught with growth hormone. And even Mary J. Blige has been accused of it. Every time some celebrity gets in great shape, there's a ton of speculation on whether they did it naturally or not. And while we can never know for sure, my educated guess is that the answer is usually no. If somebody looks like a cartoon, carrying a ton of muscle while also being ripped to shreds, and they did it inside of a few months, that person is either on some PEDs, is a genetic freak, or both. Most of us have to pick one look or the other at a time. You can be jacked, but you'll probably have a gut. Or you can be diced, but you'll probably look emaciated. And this is why most of us settle for something that's in between. Being kinda big and kinda lean is easier to get and maintain and still allows for something of a normal lifestyle. If you really want to know what's possible for a natural physique, you have to go back almost a century to be sure. Steve Reeves, a bodybuilder from the 1940s, was arguably the first movie star physique idol. Steroids hadn't made it into bodybuilding yet, and he still looks great by any normal standard today. Pudgy Stockton was a weightlifter from the same era. They called her pudgy, but you can see she was very muscular and still very feminine looking. This should be what we aspire to, because it's much more attainable than what you see competing today.